It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
Increasing dosage available to the states by 9,000 starting next week, but continuing that for several weeks.
The Biden administration is ramping up vaccine distribution to states.
The president wants us to be able to vaccinate as many Americans as possible, as quickly as possible.
What this means for Colorado's vaccination effort moving forward. Today, hundreds of teachers lined up to get their first dose of the vaccine.
And now to know that I can go into the classroom, and be able to go up to my students and not feel fearful for myself or for my family.
Plus, the historic second impeachment trial of former President Trump is now underway.
Fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Today, the Senate voted in favor of the trial being constitutional, meaning it can proceed.
Senators, this cannot be our future. We can't possibly be suggesting that we punish people for political speech in this country.
A deep freeze takes hold of much of the country with temperatures dropping in Colorado.
It's cold out there right now, and it'll turn much colder by the weekend.
And a local business owner helps a homeless man and his dog get off the streets.
Very grateful. It saved my life.
Now that good deed has created more generosity for those in need. Good Tuesday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. We want to get right to our top story and an increase in vaccination doses for Colorado. Today, Governor Polis announced our state's vaccine dose shipment will increase by 9,000 starting next week. At this new rate, Colorado is expecting an additional 27,000 vaccine doses over the next 3 weeks from the federal government. Governor Polis says counties will get more frequent updates now.
What's gotten better? Increased supply now with the announcement of 9,000 more a week, 3-week visibility into supply, twice weekly deliveries. We are then able to translate that into information earlier for counties.
We also spoke to the White House Deputy Commissioner today. She says some of those vaccines will be sent to pharmacies and community health clinics.
We think that our pharmacy program, and particularly our community health center program, which we announced today, are key to helping ensure communities of color, other underserved communities, receive the vaccine.
Governor Polis said he wants to be able to oversee those pharmacy and health clinics and hold them accountable if they are not giving out the vaccines quickly. We will have more information on that tonight on Denver7 News at 10. Just switch on over to Channel 7. Denver7 will moderate a vaccine question and answer session tomorrow on Facebook Live. Dr. Michelle Barron, the medical director of infection control and prevention at UC Health, will be our special guest. The conversation begins tomorrow at 3 o'clock on the Denver7 Facebook page. Until then, send your questions to 360@thedenverchannel.com. This is a live look right now from the U.S. Capitol building, where in the morning, opening arguments are expected to start in the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. Today, the Senate voted in favor of the trial being constitutional. Here's ABC's Faith Abube with a recap of today's events.
Congressional Democrats kicking off the first day of Donald Trump's second impeachment trial for incitement of insurrection.
The Senate will convene as a court of impeachment.
Lead House impeachment manager Jamie Raskin recalling the terrifying attack on the U.S. Capitol January 6th that's led to this moment. Even before opening arguments, Raskin previewing the Democrats' case, showing the timeline of how Trump fed a mob of his supporters lies about the 2020 presidential election being stolen.
Fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Motivated them and sent them towards the Capitol to fight.
Senators, this cannot be our future.
But Trump's defense team already arguing that same evidence will exonerate the former president.
We can't be thinking about that. We can't possibly be suggesting that we punish people for political speech in this country.
Some of Trump's own supporters, however, blaming him for their actions on January 6th.
There's a million of us out there, and we are listening to Trump. You're the boss.
An ABC News investigation finding out of 200 accused Capitol rioters, more than a dozen claimed they were following Trump's guidance. But as the trial begins, the first step is whether holding the trial itself is constitutional. Both sides getting up to 4 hours to argue if an impeachment trial of a president who has left office is lawful.
And after hours of presentations from the House impeachment managers and Trump's defense team, lawmakers here on Capitol Hill voting mostly along party lines to move this trial forward, saying it's constitutional. Opening arguments begin tomorrow. Faith Abube, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Thank you, Faith. Colorado Congressman Joe Neguse is one of the 9 impeachment managers. He says President Trump needs to be held accountable for inciting a riot.
President Trump was not impeached for run-of-the-mill corruption, misconduct. He was impeached for inciting a violent insurrection, an insurrection where people died in this building. Can't commit grave offenses in their final days and escape any congressional response.
Tomorrow's proceedings start at noon our time. We will carry a special report from ABC News over on Channel 7. 3 officers fired for making light of the death of Elijah McClain will not get their jobs back. The officers were fired for their involvement with this picture. It shows 3 officers mimicking the chokehold used on McClain. The picture was sent to a 4th officer who responded, "Ha ha." 3 of the officers lost their appeal for reinstatement today. The 4th resigned when this picture surfaced. Tonight, Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman said he was happy with the outcome.
And I think it sends a positive message throughout the entire department that this chief of police really means business, and that she is determined to move this police force in a more positive direction.
A review board called the actions thoughtless and put a bullseye on the department's credibility. Tonight, the Adams County Sheriff's Office is staying tight-lipped about the shooting of a woman nearly 2 weeks ago. Harmony Holfgrum died on January 26th. Originally, the sheriff's office said Harmony had a gun, but Harmony's brother tells Denver7 a detective told him a day later she didn't actually have a gun.
Don't get me wrong, she wasn't an angel, you know. She's obviously in a situation where she shouldn't have been in, but it's just hard to grieve when you have no answers. There's no answers at all.
Harmony's brother tells us she was a mother of 2. Her family has hired an attorney. The Adams County Sheriff's Office says it can't comment on the shooting because it's under investigation. Everyday police officers encounter people and families in needs they sometimes dip into their own pocket to meet, but it's not always an option. Until now, thanks to a generous donation from a Denver business owner. Denver7's Addie Guajardo shows us the people the Denver business owner is impacting and how it will not only save a life, but will help build trust in a community.
It's in this very spot.
I got stuck there by accident.
Off South Platte River Drive and West Tennessee Avenue, where Jerry's car broke down.
3 months ago, I was in the street living in my car. I thought for sure I was dead within a couple months.
But an anonymous complaint brought Denver police officer Anna and Monique into his life.
There was luggage, like lawn chairs, outside of his vehicle.
It marked the beginning of a new journey for Jerry and his dog.
He tells us, no, I'm kind of stuck.
They knew the need was desperate.
We actually took him grocery shopping and with our own money bought him groceries.
They called in their community outreach coordinator, and the owner of Carpet Exchange, Bruce Audette, stepped in when he learned more about the man living outside his business. Bruce gave DPD $2,400 to get Jerry into an apartment.
If I was down on my luck like that, I would just be needing someone to help me out and give me a chance.
And he took it a step further, donating $10,000 to Denver Police District 4. Sergeant Chad Kendall says the need is great, and officers are willing to help when they can, but it's not always possible or instant.
Having that $10,000 donated to us has allowed us to be able to buy bus tickets. It's allowed us to do instant service if someone needs some groceries or some gas or batteries in their cars.
He says this donation is not only about assistance, but building trust in the communities they serve.
Well, I got my own apartment now, yeah. It's a very nice apartment. I could take a bath.
After living on the streets for 8 months, Jerry is grateful for his new home.
Very grateful. It saved my life.
And new friends. Addie Guajardo, Denver7.
Relief, excitement, nerves a little bit.
More Colorado teachers are getting vaccinated by the day, but that doesn't mean we'll automatically go back to in-person learning.
This is just a great opportunity for us as a district to meet kids where they are.
The Front Range district's planning to keep remote learning in place next year.
Just teens for highs in the Northeast Plains, and sub-zero weather is coming our way.
And coming up later, a Colorado-born doctor has a unique way to spread information about COVID vaccines.